Okay, back. Internet briefly dropped, but we're good. Okay, so like I was saying, these idles serve as in and out points, so that all animations have a common blending point, and it serves to orient and position the animation clip that I'm cleaning up. So I'm going to take the back foot here, the left foot, because it stays stationary at the initial, and I'm going to match the back left foot to the previous clip. So if I just overlap them like this tells Motion Builder to blend these clips together, just like video clips. So you see how it blends from one clip into the other, and his feet are sliding. We'll take care of that right now. So just hit the match button, hit OK, and there it is. He blends. Now, it's not done, it's not perfect, but it's better than him chopping around out in space. So let's see, when do we want it to blend back? That's fine. Alright, and this is how long? Looks like it is 78 frames. Okay, let's grab a new take. No. Max of 78 frames. And plot the whole scene to the skeleton. We'll plot the whole take to the scene. So this cooks this information into the scene here, because I can't edit the F-curves very well on takes like this, or on clips in story mode. So take off Jeff, and now if I go into story mode and select like the hips, I've got curves. So I can see right here, like this is this really steep diagonal line at the end. That's where I blended. And if I go to story mode, I can check that out. So see how these lines are crossing right here? If I put my cursor, my time by playback right there, go to, oh, yep, definitely. That's where I blend in and out. So I don't necessarily want the hips blending in and out at those points. So just flatten them out so the hips stay flat. Then I need to move this guy back up, compensate for that, and I need to figure out how I want to address this right here. So I'll probably just grab that, and actually no, let's flatten this out, and then take it from, actually that's going to wind up with a very, very flat x-axis, but that's okay. It's got a little bit of movement on the x, a very tiny bit of movement, but let's see how it looks. It looks funny because the foot is moving so much out on the x. So same drill. Okay, so that happens real suddenly there. Boom. Okay, that should be planted flat. So this should be flat. And then I think I suck some more of the X movement out. I don't know that he really needs to be taking such a big step out. Okay, let's fix that Y too. Yeah, look at that. So it goes up, down, pause, up a little bit again, down, plateau, then down. That's where we're getting a lot of our visual noise from here. So boom. So this should be flat. Where should this be flat at? This is a step forward. It should basically be full. This should be transitioning to flat right about here, actually. Step should be done. Or let's just delete this and see what happens. Keep this key for control. Okay. So right here, this is, actually let's make this impact. We'll make this the impact point for coming down. Right, we'll need to fix Z. So there's some major foot sliding happening here. So the foot should be done right here. Okay, let's take a look at this. Boom. Da, da. Maybe it should. So what's happening is it's sliding back to match this right here. Alright, so what we're going to have to do is we're actually going to have to move the hips forward to compensate for this. So this is where we actually get to do a little bit of human IK. And this might take me a couple of passes to get right. We'll see what happens. So he is stepping forward. Boom, there's the point of contact. These right here have got to go all the way up to here, because this is where he's moving to. Boom. This is his new position. And once we get the hips fixed here, we may have to go back to story mode and change how this blends right here. Alright, so these are the hips. Okay, so you can see the hips here. They do have this slope upwards where the hips are traveling forward. Boom, and then they slide back down and go back to meeting up with here. So we may be lucky here. We may just be able to grab this here and push this up and be in pretty good shape. Okay, so he's not sliding forward, but we've got this pop happening back here. Check out the rotation. Okay, so let's fix these rotations. Change the offset, basically. I'm on the wrong foot, but that needs to be fixed anyway. I'm going to go through and just fix these since I'm already on this foot. So this one isn't too bad. I might just leave this. You want to be very careful about clamping your rotations down too much. If you clamp them down really severely, it can look really unnatural. You want to have your feet, even if their position is staying the same, you want to have the feet rolling and shifting with the body to compensate for the body weight. And it's actually good to have the feet actually shift their position a little bit as well to compensate. It just looks better. Alright, this little pop here. Is this our troublemaker? Yeah, there's one of them. Yep, there's a troublemaker there too. This is bad sensor data right here. So let's see what happens when we collapse this down. I think the bad sensor data may be more on this part right here. If I delete this and let it curve a bit more. Okay, let's see where this pop and slide is happening on Z. Okay, there it is. So I'm okay with a little bit of movement on Z here, but it's kind of moving in the... Actually, no, it would move forward a bit. So let's just have it match. Because he's boosting forward a little bit in his chop. There he goes. See how his toe is bouncing up and down like that? I do not worry about those at all. There's a stage where I filter that out, and it's just an easier way to handle it. You use something called the Butterworth filter, this guy right here, and it just kills all those little tiny rotations. Okay, so he takes a little step forward while he's chopping. All right, we got to figure out that Y translation on this right foot here again. It's really looking really soft the way it comes down. Boom. It needs to come down with authority and stick, and it does not. All right, here we go. So I'm going to use a little bit of IK pull on this. Boom. Maybe. No. He is wanting to be down a lot sooner there. Fix that tangent. That's better. Still a little soft. Let's see. That's better. Okay, so the other thing is he's moving forward for this attack. There's a little bit of a pop slide there on Z, I think. Alright, there's bigger problems than that. Okay, so he's kind of looking off to his right, but I want him to be attacking straight ahead. So we're going to fix this with an animation layer. So I've got one layer right here, and it's set to additive. So I go to the spot where it's kind of the worst, right? And see he's looking, and his body language is really pointing out to his right here. So I'm going to change this to direct more down the middle. And I'll put a 0 key at the beginning so that I don't screw up my in and outs. When you're working with animation layers, you need to be very conscious that you get a 0 key in at your beginning and end. And if you can, it's even good if you can put them in a little bit before your start and end, so that you don't destroy your blending in and out points. Okay, and this needs a little bit of a correction there. Yep, okay. Alright, it's coming along. Just a little bit of poppiness. It might be time to filter as soon. He slides on X here, you see that? His foot slides on X, the right foot. Let's fix that. Oh, first maybe we need to bake. Yes, let's actually fix this knee too. So this knee is looking a little bowed. So let's turn. Whoop, we need to bake first. Okay, so this is a good human IK thing right here. So the IK solver here has information on it that when I activate it, it pulls the knee way out there. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to bake this down so that the information on the IK solver matches what I currently have here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bake this. Bake it back to the control rig, and now when I go and turn this on, you see how the knee stays put? The knee stayed put. So now I can go here and I can just kind of nudge this knee out a little bit. It was doing this kind of thing, which just kind of looked funny. It was making his leg look a little weaker than it is. Straighten the knee out there. Remember to get my 0 keys at the end and the beginning. And I'll probably put a 0 key way before the actual beginning, because I'm only fixing a tiny section right here. Alright, there we go. Plot the skeleton. And back to control rig. And I turn this guy back off. So I'm done with it. Alright, now let's address that sliding on the x-axis. Alright. Okay. I like it when he steps out a little bit. I do like there being some movement on the x-axis. I think that's good. It's because he's not moving in a straight line, right? We want to remember our principles of animation, and arcs is one of them. So having this sweep out over the negative x-axis as he steps out would help preserve an arc. But we need to really be conscious of how quickly we get back. So when the foot is on the floor, I'm going to grab my y-axis to reference that. So my foot lands back on the floor here. And I should really be done with x at that point. So I'm just going to delete from like here out. And let's see how that looks. Yep, takes a step. Okay, so that the way that he's picking his foot up right there, that looks a little weak, and I think that might be because of the IK pull. No, it's not affecting it at all. I can actually turn the pull off now. I'm done with it. Oh, there's a pop there on the left foot again. Let's see if we can do something about that. Oh, look at that. That is a pop. Okay, so let's just Let's create this little plateau here. Create a nice smooth out of that plateau. And play. There we go. Get a little bit of movement on the X, so it doesn't look overly stiff and robotic, but it's not popping anymore. It's great. And like little things like this right here, like seriously, just don't pay any attention to that. When we go to filtering, filtering kills all that noise. I'm gonna flatten this out a little bit. I mean, we're only like one thing that's important here is to look at the values, right? So like with you can adjust your graph to make these things seem like oh my gosh, look at how steep these curves are. This is horrendous. Except this is the difference between 12.8 units on X and 12.9 units on X, right? Here's 12.8, here's 12.9. We're not talking about a lot there, but what the hell? I like fixing these things. It will probably get filtered out anyway. Alright, let's filter this. So before I filter, I bake everything back down to the skeleton, and then I bake it back to the control rig. And then I plot everybody but the head. Or sorry, I turn on IK for everybody but the head. And then we do the Butterworth filter. And I do the first pass at 6 Hertz. Select everything. Preview. And so like you can see that what that does is that just kind of, I'll undo it. So this is what, like you can see there's all these jaggies. I mean, some of those are tangents, but you see how there's a lot of unevenness in the curve. And I hit Butterworth and it smooths out the curve while keeping the overall trajectories and velocities of the curve. So diesel, oops, forgot to actually approve that. And hit play. Alright, that's looking better. There's a pop in the hips. That's because I got this guy on right here. There we go. Still a little poppy in the hips, but not too bad. The hand movement's looking a ton better. I haven't even touched that. Let me see. That might be something I need to come in here and do. And this elbow, sometimes it twists around. Okay, yeah. That's a little weird. Alright, we'll fix that. So, let's see here. We will pin these guys right here. And this, once again, this is Human IK to the rescue. So we're pinning the locations of the shoulder and the hand. And we're just going to swing the elbow out. Key that, go back to our in and out. Make sure we get a 0 before and after. Probably move that 0 way out there. Hide that manipulator. Okay, let's see here if we can do anything to strengthen up the hand pose itself, if it needs it. Make sure to get in and out at 0 for the hand as well. I'm on body part mode, but it's still, I like to make sure I really have Here, I want my 0 way up here for my hand anyway. It's doing it for the elbow. All right, let's do with the keyframe. Ooh, that's a little wonky. Let's take a look. We might fix that with the motion path. Alright, let's just play this through and see how it's looking. Okay. Yeah, remember all that noise I told you that was on the toe that would go away? It's gone. I filtered it all out. Didn't have to do anything to it. That was a very low setting on the filter too. That filter, you can be very aggressive with that filter, and sometimes it will fix some of your worst problems. But it's also good to know how to fix things without relying on the filter, because the filter can very easily, when you're cleaning up mocap, you can be tempted to, that saying is like, when you have a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Well, the Butterworth filter can definitely do that for motion capture. It can definitely deceive you. All right. So one thing that I do later is I go through and I animate the hands a little bit more, like the fingers. His hand is just kind of holding still, and the fingers are holding still, and it looks really unnatural. But I am really not in the mood to animate fingers right now, so I'm not going to. I need to be in a special mood to animate fingers, but it's got to get done. Alright, so this right here, I don't like how much that curves down. That's okay. Alright, I'm going to bake this down and see if I can do something about the arc. That the knife is taken. I'm going to turn off some of this human IK, or rather turn off some of these IK solvers. And let's see here. We got to display the rig. Oh, so this guy right here, I should hide him because he's right in my way. But that's the mocap rig from my mocap software. You have to, like, in order to work on this rig, I had to retarget to this character from my my mocap software. So human IK is useful for a lot of things, as far as like retargeting and actually getting to use your motion capture data, not just clean it up. All right. Oh, that's really annoying. Let's see. Are there keyframes on this? Yes, there are. All right, there we go. All right, so here's our little motion trail right here. And this is the path that the hand takes through space. And you see how there's this cutback right here, right? This is what was catching my eye and it was being like, ooh, that could be smoother, right? So there's a couple ways I can fix this. I can look and see what's actually causing that, right? And by a quick observation, I think I can see that it's mostly that he holds his Y position on his hand holds the Y position as it's moving through here on X right here. So I can go here to F curves and get on the right layer. And sure enough, here we go. We got this plateau, right? This plateau right here is what's primarily causing our issue. Go ahead and do that. And we'll just delete these troublemakers. Alright, and there we go. For the most part, that's looking better. There's something about the velocity on X increases a little bit too much there. But you see how there's like this divot in, right? So there's a velocity change. The slope here is different than the slope here. And this the thing that I love about Houdini is like you have, I mean Houdini's not quite yet ready to be a motion capture cleanup tool like Motion Builder is. Motion Builder was built to clean up motion capture data, but in Houdini you have all sorts of tools for detecting slopes and a change in a slope and then repairing that slope. So it's you need to know a little more math to actually use those kind of tools, but the point is that you actually have easy access to that, whereas I don't know how you'd even begin to approach something like that in Motion Builder without digging into the Python API, which the couple of glances that my wife has taken at it, she tells me it's just an abomination. She did not like it, whereas the Python API in Houdini is really smooth. Alright, so that cleans up most of that. I didn't actually have to make an editable motion trail and clean up that, which is nice. There we go. Got that little bit of tension out. Still something kind of funny about the way he's swinging this knife around. Alright, there it is. Alright, you see how extreme that wrist pose is? Oh, look at that. It's kind of candy wrappering a little bit. Not quite, not too bad. But we need to fix this. This is not a natural looking pose. And 0. And 0. Maybe do that actually. And then 0. Alright. Plot that down. Skeleton. So let's just for giggles, let's take a look at what we started with. So we'll go back to story mode, drive Jeff with that. Boom, boom, and he's just like all the way over there, right? You see his feet are sliding everywhere. He's not even going in the right direction. Broken leg, horrible sliding foot. Ah, there we go. What's interesting about that is like I see something I still don't like this. I don't like the angling of his foot here. Let's see what we can do about that. animation layer. Ooh, look at that. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to turn off IK on the knee. Still had the knee selected. I'm actually going to see if I can fix this on the curves instead of introducing another layer. See if I can actually identify what the issue is. And I really do not like Euler curves at all, which unfortunately that's mostly what we have to work with. Euler curves are very unintuitive. Let's see. Let's go back here. Actually, that's not looking so bad after the IK is off. I wonder, is it pulling? Nope. Oh, there's a little bit of a pop still on this guy. Look at that. Alright, let's get aggressive. So I probably got to turn this toe on. Right here. Yep, look at that. There's noise on that. And we're just going to aggressively filter it. There's still some. Oh, it's because it canceled. There we go. All gone. Plot that down. Go back to the rig. Turn that off. Okay, so it's something with the knee. Yeah, look at that. Alright, let's see what we can do here. How it's blending in and out like that. Didn't seem to notice that at all. Okay. Huh, it's not responding at all to this. That is not a good sign. Oh, there's just... He's picking his foot up like it's sort of a dead piece of weight here. So check out the floor contact here. So like, there's the foot up. There it is. Like if I push it down onto the floor, rotate it on it, the toes react. And of course they kind of remember that, but that's cool. I know some animators really don't like anything like that, those floor contacts. They want to control it all themselves, but I don't know. I think they're kind of cool personally. Ooh, I don't want that. It's looping weird like that. Ah, so annoying. It's gonna make a really ugly step. Yep. Flicks his toe up. That's what the result of that is. Okay. Just gonna clear this off. And try again. Wow, there's something funny going on with his knee. It's not responding to anything either. Oh, it's because that's off. Okay, let's see. Now will it respond? Yep, okay, now it's responding. Okay. Okay, so if I decrease the severity of how that's pushing out, and let's clean that up. That's a mess. I swore I filtered that. Huh. Let's get rid of that too, that velocity change. So yeah, it likes it. It looks better if I pull it even that far down. So let's invert this. Match it up down there. That kind of worked. Slight new problem there though. Okay, let's look at the rotation here. There's some problems here for sure. Let's start with X. There we go. There we go. Pretty simple fix. I like simple fixes over more complex fixes. I think I actually want to leave that, if not exaggerate that more. So let's see here. This is a velocity change in the rotation. Increase the amount of rotation. There we go. That's looking better. Cut, cut, cut. Okay. That's a little goofy. Might need some more follow through on some of this. It's kind of stiff at parts. Alright, let's go down to the base animation. Okay, so yeah. I want this to go further on X. I hear my son waking up. I may need to comfort him a bit. He's got his nanny here, but sometimes he likes to see me. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Need more follow through. Need to get the wrist to align with that as well. Alright. That might best be done with a layer change actually. Tried to be slick and see if I could correct the curves to handle that, but I don't think that will work. But we'll definitely be quicker with the layer change. Okay. My little boy's not having a very good time waking up. I'm gonna bake this and call it and go help him out. Okay. There we go. A little bit of follow through. Alright. Well, that's basically mocap cleanup in Motion Builder. There's one last thing I want to show you guys, and you notice that the skeleton has its root joint is at 0, 0, 0 in the world, and everything else like this the hips here, the parented to this, right? So it's like he's got this tether in the world, and this is his root motion joint. So we have a little bit of root motion where he moves down on the Z. So I want to take the motion off the hips and put it down here. So go to the hips, grab the Z channel, make sure we're on the base animation layer, and just copy, or sorry, cut, and go to the root, same channel, Z, and paste. And now when I play it, you see that the motion is happening on the root node. so that when he does this attack in the game, he will actually move forward. Alright guys, that is going to have to be it for today.